What's up, guys? And welcome back to the Raise the Standard podcast. This is your host, Kaylin Pyles, and I'm excited for today's episode. If this is your very first time over here in my podcast land, hello, welcome. I talk about all things mindset, personal development, storytelling, and personal growth along this beautiful journey we call life, as we are ever evolving. I am an entrepreneur and have been running my business, The Higher Standard, since 2017. And I have a lot of stories, a lot of growth, a lot of mindset, a lot of personal development, all of the above, a lot of lessons to share with you. And I hope you can learn a lot from me. And maybe you're an entrepreneur yourself, maybe you're a coach yourself. Today's topic is going to be kind of more in that realm anyway, talking about entrepreneurship and coaching and social media, tying those things together. So I'm excited to dive right in with you guys. But as always, I'm going to do a little bit of catch up with you, and then we can dive into today's topic. And today's topic, I'll just lay it out there. Obviously, you can read the title, but today's topic is You Are the Niche. I am so excited to talk about this topic. But if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. If anybody else has a cat, like I do, I have 2 cats, but my cat will literally puke every single day. And I've talked to the vet about this, and they're like, yeah, this is normal. And I'm like, alrighty. I think she just eats too fast because she gets super excited. And anywho, if she ends up puking while on air, I apologize, but I think it's over with now. But this is a day in the life for me, is just cleaning up Lucy's puke. So here we are. But some updates with life. What do we have here? So a couple of things that have come to mind is, first and foremost, I turned 30 in less than a month. So I have been planning my big 3-0 birthday vacation, and I'm so excited for this. It's been quite some time since I've taken like time off from work. Usually if I am traveling, I'm also working while I'm away. So, over the summer I did go to New York and Chicago, but I worked the entire time. So for my 30th birthday, I am actually taking an entire week off from work, and I'm very excited for this. I think the last time I did this was back in 2020. So definitely overdue, and I just can't wait to be in total relaxation. And we have just booked our Airbnbs, and we're going to be doing some like Airbnb like hopping around, which my boyfriend and I did this over the summer when we had an extended stay. We went to Mexico City and we just hopped around like every 2 to 3 days in a new Airbnb. And it was such a vibe, and it was so cool to be able to explore different parts of the city. And so we have the same thing planned for my 30th birthday in Tulum. I've never been in Tulum before, so very excited for that. And yeah, just to document that and share it and whatnot. So yeah, that's my update for my 30th birthday. And my second update is I wanted to talk about reading for a second, because since the tail end of 2022, I like fully immersed myself into reading personal development books, mindset books, different things like that. And I do get that question from time to time from you guys as well, as just any recommendations for books. So I wanted to briefly give you a list of some books that really stood out to me that I think would be great recommendations. So the very first one, I've talked about this quite a few times, is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And this is by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And it's really in depth. And if I'm trying to come up with why I think you should read this. I think that you need to be in a very specific time or phase in your life in order to really digest all of this. I chose to pick this book up when I was dealing with a lot of anxiety towards the end of 2022. And this book really, really helped me towards the end of the book. It also dives into meditation, which you guys will be proud. I did a full-blown 45-minute silent meditation seated on my bed yesterday, and that was very challenging to say the least. But this book kind of guides you through everything beyond meditation. Meditation part is like the tail end of it, but I highly recommend that book. It's a mindset book. It's to better understand your subconscious and your conscious mind. My second book that I read in 2022 was called Untethered Soul. I don't have it with me. Otherwise, I would tell you who the author is, but it's pretty, like, if you type it in, it's going to be the first book. It's a pretty popular book, but this book was really, really amazing for me as well. This book was really about just finding your inner calm and your inner peace. So I highly recommend that book. And then I'm reading 2 books right now. This is like my toxic trait. I'll read about like 2 to 3 books at the same time. I'll read a tangible book that I can have in my hands. I'll read one on my Kindle, and then I'll read one on my iPad. So guilty there. Here we are. It's just, whatever's laying around is what I pick up. And my boyfriend asked me how I like can remember like where I left off if I'm like reading 3 books, but somehow I just remember and I don't get things mixed up. And maybe that's a special talent. I don't know. But this next book, holy cow, if you're an entrepreneur, I highly recommend this book. I'm going to completely butcher his last name, but the book is The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. We'll go with that. This book is so simple. He words things obviously in like a 3rd grade level, which honestly makes you like 12 times smarter than the smartest person in the world. Is like, if you can explain complex things to a 3rd grader, you're elite. So this book is basically a guide to wealth and happiness. And one thing that he talks about in this book is authenticity and finding your purpose. And this kind of goes hand in hand a little bit with what I'm about to talk about in today's episode about You Are the Niche. So I'm excited to dive in about that. And the last book I wanted to recommend, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm literally like picking up like 3 tangible books, my iPad, my iPhone, just pulling up different books for you guys. So also, my boyfriend got me an iPad for Christmas, so thank you. It's so sweet. But this next book that I'm going to talk about is called The Inner Work. Very simple. And I'm trying to remember who the author is. The Inner Work. Oh, great. They don't even have the author in my Kindle. Okay. If you look up the yoga couple on Instagram, I think their names are, I can't remember the guy's name, but I think the girl's name is Ashley. But anyway, the book is literally called The Inner Work. And I just started reading this, I think about 2 or 3 days ago, and I'm already locked in. Like it's 100% right down my alley. If you guys know anything about me, I'm such a mindset, personal development, growth oriented junkie. And I'm soaking everything in right there. So those are my book recommendations for you guys. If you end up picking any of those up, reading through them, I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts. But let's go ahead and dive into today's episode, which is fueled by Bulletproof Coffee, which is not an ad, but I'm trying this cold brew latte from the brand Bulletproof in the flavor dark chocolate, and it's a vibe. Cool. So let's back it up all the way to 2017 when young KP was first starting her entrepreneur journey. She had no idea what the heck she was doing. She had never been exposed to entrepreneurship. I came from a background where you just check the boxes off. You go to school, you get the good grades, you become a teacher, you do the teaching, you get married, you do the thing, you have the kids, and that's kind of how I was raised. And so I didn't even know that this opportunity was out there. I was not surrounded by anybody who was an entrepreneur. I never came across anybody who ran their own business or anything like that. Like I literally had no idea. So when I first started dabbling into entrepreneurship and starting my business, the number one or two things that you hear when first starting your business is find your niche and make sure your Instagram bio is specific towards who you're talking to. And that shit drove me insane. Like the amount of people who actually don't start a business, who actually don't start helping other people because they get caught up on, I don't know what my niche is, or, oh my gosh, like how's my Instagram bio? Do you know how many people get stopped from actually serving other people and from actually starting their own business or coaching other people because they don't know what to put in their Instagram bio or they don't know what to niche down to? I literally hated that question. Like, no. When I think about myself, and this is my exact process, I was like, a niche. Oh my gosh. Like in the fitness industry, oh man, like what the heck? Like I was just like, I don't know. Like, some coaches, they're like, yeah, we're the keto coach, niching down to keto, or like, yeah, we only work with moms, or yeah, we only work with men, or we only work with, oh, and people were getting so crazy specific. Like, we only work with 34-year-old women who have been married and divorced twice with 3 kids and live in Utah. And I was like, that's how specific people were like trying to like get when they were talking about find your specific niche. And you know what? I didn't do that. And here we are, and we are okay. Like, we are totally okay. And when I first started my business, I really took a step back to analyze, like, okay, this is my business. I'm going to have the easiest time running my business and helping other people if I am doing exactly what I feel like aligns with me, and I'm not bending any truths. Like I'm not putting myself in a box, because who I am as a human is I'm ever evolving. I'm always growing. I'm always learning. And so why would I choose some random box to put myself into? And when I started taking a step back and just looking and analyzing my life and kind of, I mean, you do have to come up with like a brand and a name, right? But I did not want to be like Kaylin Pyles Fitness or Kaylin Pyles Lifts or like, anything like that. Like that would have literally put me in the smallest box ever. And that's just not who I am. I'm ever evolving. I have so much to share and just can help so many more people by being broader. And that's the whole purpose of this podcast episode is I want you guys to, if you are a coach or if you're an entrepreneur, I want you to get rid of this idea of having to like niche down. Like you don't have to niche down. And so when I came up with my brand name, and I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, the higher standard. Like I've always held myself to a higher standard. And you know what you can use that with? Pretty much everything. You can hold yourself to a higher standard in your mindset. You can hold yourself to a higher standard in your personal development, in your growth, in your relationships, in your health, your fitness, your wellness, your relationships, your friendships. Hold yourself to a higher standard in your career, like literally any area. And that vibed very well with me. Obviously, when I first started my company, I was full force, like targeting fitness and holding yourself to a higher standard in the way that you treat your body. But as we grew and as we evolved, things started spreading, and I was able to talk about so much more. I was able to connect with my audience so much more. Who the heck wants to just sit here and talk about how many grams of fat are in an avocado all day? Like, does that make you want to work with me? Oh, Kaylin's talking about how many carbs are in toast again. Like, literally, no. I'm good. Like, yes, of course, like we're going to use that education. We are going to discuss that, but there's 5 million other health and fitness coaches that are also talking about it. So why the hell does someone actually want to work with you? And that's where having an understanding of like really putting yourself in a box and niching down, like it's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. People don't want to work with you because you're talking about macros. Literally everybody is talking about macros. And so what sets you apart and what really pulls you towards people and what makes other people want to actually work with you? The answer is just being you. The answer is actually just being you. And I think that this is where a lot of entrepreneurs and coaches got pretty messed up in the very beginning. And I don't know when the whole niche conversation started, but it was around when I first started, and it drove me insane. And I saw a lot of coaches struggle with even starting their business or coaching clients because they were just constantly worried about talking to a specific person about a specific thing. And I felt so bad because, like, how many times can you talk about the same thing over and over and over and over again? And like, how boring is that anyway? Like, very boring. And so I want this to serve you in a way, and to serve as a reminder that people buy people. And so whatever area you are in the coaching industry, like maybe you're a relationship coach, or, maybe you're a fitness coach, maybe you're, who knows, a business coach, whatever you are, like, people buy people. And so great, you understand what industry you're in, fitness, relationship, career, whatever coaching industry you're in. That's great. But we have to go beyond that, and we have to express ourselves and share who we are in order to actually connect with our audience, our community, our clients, etc. And one thing that we did really well inside of the Higher Standard is I created my brand off of a story. People connect with stories. People don't connect with, there's 9 grams of fat in blah, 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 blah. People don't connect with that. Okay. People connect with, okay, what's some shit that you went through? How'd you overcome it? It's called the hero's journey, right? Everyone loves a good hero's journey. Like, literally watch any movie. Like, it's always like a big hero's journey. And that's, people get attached to that. They want to know that they're not alone. They want to know that whoever they're working with has had a similar story or has overcome some things, and they can see themselves in their mentor. They can see themselves in their coach, because that gives them hope. And so I want to encourage you and inspire you to tell your story more. And this is actually a reminder to myself, because, so sometimes I can, sometimes I think like, oh, okay, am I oversharing my story, too much? But the thing is like, with social media, first and foremost, like, not everyone sees your post every single day. Sometimes it hits some people, sometimes it doesn't hit some people. And obviously you're getting new followers all the time. And, those new followers have no idea. And so it's important to share your story every single day. Like, maybe not the same story. I mean, you can reiterate it like a bunch of different ways, right? You can tell certain little glimpses of it. And just depending on how old you are, I'm sure you have more than one story. And I was actually reflecting on this at the end of the year of 2022, because I have like 2 or 3 like main stories, and it's so funny because I was like, dang, like I have like 2 or 3 stories, like big, like pivotal moments. And I was like, that's kind of getting old. And then 2022 was just like, oh, okay, we want another story. Here it is, bet. And so now I have my 2022 story. Okay, so here we are. And by sharing this and by being open about this, and does it have anything to do with health and fitness, even though I run a health and fitness company? Literally no. But do you know how many clients, or how many clients in my community, or just how many followers in my audience have reached out to me and connected with me because of that story? And so what we're doing is we're building a personal brand by sharing our stories. You can't build a personal brand off of just doing a workout and talking about macros, or like, you have to find a different way to connect with your audience, because people buy people. People want to be a part of a movement. People want to be part of a community of like-minded women or men or whoever who are on the same journey, who are on a similar journey. And yeah, I think that's an important thing to remember. And yeah, I just want to erase that idea that you have to put yourself in a box and erase the idea of like niching down. Literally, I hated that. I never, ever, ever conformed to it. It was so annoying. I'm like, yeah, over it. I'm so over it. And especially, as I am turning 30 and I did go through a huge transformation in 2022 and I am ever evolving because I didn't put myself in a box and because I didn't quote unquote niche down. Who gets to pivot and evolve and talk about anything that she wants to talk about, but still continue to run business? Me. Like, it's great. And I think that if you want to evolve as a human and you want your business to evolve or your coaching to evolve, we can't just put ourselves in a box. And you have to remember that you are so special and you are so unique and you have such a unique personality, and it needs to be shown more. If we're just reading nutrition labels for people and we're not showing our personality, like, who are they going to pick? Someone who just reads nutrition labels or someone who reads nutrition labels and like shows their personality and shows like how much fun they are having and how much they love life and, telling you stories about, what happened to them the other day? Like, who are you going to choose? Probably the person that's more relatable overall. And so, yeah, I encourage you to, share your personality and to share your routines. You may think that they're boring. They're not. People are watching. People can relate. People love to see it. People want to hear your viewpoints. And I know that that's scary because you quite literally can't say anything online anymore without someone attacking you. But the thing is you will always find your people. You will always find your people. And if someone wants to say something about your views or anything that you're doing or your personality or the way that you dress, guess what? Block them. I don't have time for that. Like, what I'm saying is not for that person, and they can go find someone else. There's billions of people on this earth that they can go follow. And I'm just trying to speak to the people who can relate to me. And that's what I have. That's my capacity. My capacity is to relate to people who can relate to me. I'm not here to convince others to change their viewpoints. There's other people that have aligned viewpoints and they can go follow each other and hang out with each other. And yeah, I think that the whole niche thing, and I experienced this a little bit, I think the whole niche thing and putting yourself in a box, it really hindered a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of coaches from even knowing what was authentic and who they were, because they felt like they had to be confined and put into this box. And so they couldn't even find an authentic voice. They were just copying and pasting. They were just, copying whoever, because whoever had so many followers and everything was so unauthentic. And this is going to be a huge shift for, any entrepreneur, any coach who maybe has confined themselves or maybe hasn't been sharing their story or, something along those lines. Like, it's going to be a tough shift. Because what this does by actually showing up and showing your life and showing your story and, it's telling your story and showing your routines and actually showing who you are beyond just the product or the service, it's going to allow you to unlayer and shed a lot of things and uncover who you truly are. And it's going to feel so freeing. It's going to feel so freeing because, again, your people are going to find you. And if anybody's not like resonating with it, like, that's cool. There's so many people here on this earth. Like, you're going to find your people, and it's just going to feel so much easier. And like a weight is lifted off of your shoulders once you can just be you. Just be you. Like, now you don't have to pretend all the time. Right? And if I ask anybody in the whole entire world, like, would you enjoy talking about one topic for the rest of your life every single day? The answer would be no. That would be so boring. We are human. Like, literally, we are wired to grow and to learn and to overcome challenges and to overcome obstacles. And we are wired to storytell, clearly. Like, that's what we should be doing. That's literally what we should be doing. We shouldn't just be a robot just talking about the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. So if you're a coach, if you're an entrepreneur, someone who puts themselves out there online and provides a service, one, you're doing a disservice to yourself if you're putting yourself into a box, because you're shutting down your own growth. And then secondly, you're doing a disservice for your clients, your community, your audience, because they can learn so much from you. You are so special. You have literally so many obstacles and challenges that you have overcome. You have so many stories to share, but you're not sharing them. It's kind of rude. If you're put into a leadership role as a coach or an entrepreneur, which all of us are, this is a leadership role, right? We're working with clients who are looking up to us and, looking for answers and for help. And so by holding back and not sharing, we're really kind of just doing a disservice overall. So I know it's scary. So obviously just start small, but I think that it's, overall important is to get rid of this mindset of having to box yourself in and niching down, and just play around with it. Like, let's see how things roll. I guarantee you're going to get way more messages in your inbox saying, oh my gosh, me too. Thank you so much for this. Bah, 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 bah. Like, are people messaging you when you're talking about like, oh, here's how you do bench press for the 500th time? Like, okay, maybe a couple people who, are obviously like seeing your page for the first time, but no, people buy people, right? So I want you to focus on that. And so, 2023. You're the damn niche right here. It's you, baby. And I was just like writing down like my niche and who I am. And again, I just think that it's important. Like, as I like list off all of these things that I'm about to list off about my niche, if you vibe with it, cool. Awesome. I'll see you on the next episode. I'll see you over on Instagram. I'll see you inside of the Higher Standard, whatever. If you don't vibe with it, that's okay. There's someone else that you probably will. And you'll find your people. So, hi, I'm Kaylin. I'm the niche. I'm a storyteller. I absolutely love talking about feminine, masculine energy. I come from a very masculine upbringing and have been ebbing and flowing and dabbling into finding and growing into my feminine energy. So if you resonate with that and you have been someone who's been very type A or very go, 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 hi, let's explore feminine energy together. I love helping others see their potential. Hence the Higher Standard. I really felt a pull and really saw a lot of potential in myself, and I have a gift for seeing potential in others as well. And I can give some tough love, but again, it's all out of love, because I know that, I can do better. You can do better. Not in a demanding way, but as in like, we only live one life, let's get it type of way. I love all things love. I am a hopeless romantic. I love love. I love relationships, and I love discovering and discussing better communication and better ways to show up in relationships. I love branding, which is kind of what we're talking about right now, is like a personal brand. I love branding. I could talk about it all the time, and you guys probably don't know about it because I don't necessarily talk about it too much. But now that I have my podcast, here we are talking about branding. I love branding. Love me a good brand. I am an Enneagram 7, so I am very positive and optimistic. I believe that positivity is a practice, and it's something that I practice on a daily basis. I am quite blunt, and I do have opinions. I absolutely love reading, podcasts, journaling, all the things personal development and growth. I really ride on that saying, YOLO. I really truly believe that to my core. I'm trying to maximize the hell out of my life in all areas of my life, because I'm only here once. And so any way that I can grow mentally in my personal development, in my relationships, in my wellness, my health, my career, I'm trying to get after it. And if you resonate with that, hell yeah, let's get it in 2023. Let's grow. I am an entrepreneur and I love talking business. I could talk about business all day. I love talking about ideas, how to optimize things, you name it. I also am a cat mom and I love dogs too. It's just I would not be a good dog parent. Okay. So we need to stop the war between cats and dogs. They're both great. It's just some people are meant to be cat owners and some people are meant to be dog owners. Okay. Okay. I think that cats are very entrepreneurial and independent too. And it makes my life easy. Okay. I am a firm believer in taking messy action, hence why I still don't have an intro to my podcast. But, here we are. I'm still putting out episodes. And if I would have gotten caught up on, I can't do my podcast until I have an intro, then I would have never recorded a damn podcast episode. So messy action over no action at all. And I highly encourage you to evaluate your life and ask yourself if there's some silly step that you're like waiting on to do that's kind of getting in the way of you actually doing what you're supposed to do, right? Whether that's in your health and fitness journey, your career, whatever you're trying to start. Like there's probably a silly step getting in the way that you keep saying like, oh, I got to do this or I got to be perfect. I'm the least perfect person ever. I'm a messy action type of girl. And I think that it's gotten me very far. And if I can encourage you to do the same, let's get it. I absolutely love personal development, mindset, the brain. I love learning about energetics, talking about energetics, spirituality, and all things wellness. So that's the niche. Kaylin Pyles on the niche. If you love it, if you resonate with it, if you want to hear more about any of those topics, then obviously follow me over on Instagram at Kaylin Pyles, and please subscribe to this podcast, Raise the Standard. And that way you never miss any episode that I load every single Monday morning. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you are a fellow entrepreneur or coach, I hope that this was helpful for you and kind of gave you some freedom and maybe a permission slip to just be yourself. Like my business definitely succeeded without being put in a box or niching down. And you don't have to do that either. Like I promise you, just be yourself and you will attract the right people. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you have a beautiful Monday. If you haven't left a review on my podcast, please do. A 5-star review on Spotify or Apple would be so amazing. And if you could write a written review over on Apple, that would be even more amazing, because I had 2 random men who literally have no idea who they are leave me a 1-star review and write a terrible review. And like, clearly they don't fit my niche. Okay. So we need to like scoot them to the side and get that rating back up. So here we are. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.